Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. LDSW, thank you so much for being the first one here today. And thank you, everyone else, for showing up for Royal Sussex. Okay, let me grab my slides and we are good to go. Are we? I got to throw one more thing on there. Okay. All right, now we're good to go. Okay, and there we are. Okay, slides are coming up. And they are here. Wonderful. Okay, that's fun, right? You see how I got Abigail overlapping the names? Kind of makes you feel like there's something missing there, right? Let me see. Okay. Um, so Melissa McCarthy had some things to say about Meghan. I will share a soundbite of that later. Also, Abigail Spencer is the. Oh, you know what? I don't know what number she is. I could not catch the number. Let me see if I can. She's number 6 of 50. I just noticed that she is number 6 of 50. Very good. All right. Uh, okay. Anyway, I hope everyone is well this Sunday evening, Monday morning. Okay. There we are. Now, you can see right there a side by side of our two heroines. Hello, Legs. Hasn't it been a busy day? Hasn't it been a busy day of podcasts? I noticed that. Hello to you too, Beverly McCaskill. Thank you so much. Oh no, you got 6 hours to sleep. Ah, okay. Well, we better get going then. Oh, there's been a lot of trolls today. That's because they are triggered. They are quite triggered. Hi, Susie Q. Okay, let's get on with it. So you may remember this moment where Melissa McCarthy was having a little fun, and of course the tabloid media. Well, they do what they do. They made it seem like Melissa McCarthy and Meghan was trying to insult the Queen because the whole idea of tea of high tea is solely that of Queen Elizabeth and no one else in the world. But anyway, um, it was a fun moment. So let's not let those hypercritical people overshadow a good time. And of course, Megan enjoyed tea as well. Um, if you haven't seen that little exchange they had, it was hilarious. It was where Megan gives Melissa a call, and Melissa didn't realize that the video screen was on, that it was a Zoom call and not just a regular call. Well, she didn't know her camera was on. And she goes, "What you doing?" Oh, you know me. I'm planting that organic garden that we discussed. Blah blah blah. And she's like, I can see you. And she's like, "Oh, oh." Then she says, "Okay, I got something better for you." Then she runs and changes into this costume, which was so much fun. But of course, this was for the 40 by 40 announcement. And today, on the looks like what looks to me to be the streets of Manhattan, there you have Melissa McCarthy on Duchess Meghan, a smart, interesting woman that has her own life. Meghan is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, um, let me see here. I grabbed that sound bite very fast.
For no reason, that people just like to be attacked. And a smart, interesting woman that has her own.
Oh, sorry. Oh, one more time. I kind of screwed that up. Sorry, one more time.
For some reason, is incredibly threatening to some people. And I always think, how inspiring. I've never once been threatened by someone who's amazing. I just think, how inspiring. So it's really on the people throwing the hate. It's Meghan's wonderful. Like, strong women are for no reason, that people just like to be attacked. And a smart, interesting woman that has her own life, for some reason, is incredibly threatening to some people. And I always think, how inspiring. I've been threatened by someone who's amazing. I just think, how inspiring. So it's really on the people throwing the hate. It's Meghan's wonderful. Like, strong women are.
There you go. She said it's always the strong women that are attacked. And to her point, well, and I think I've said this quite a few times myself, it turns into one of those situations where they say, it's just something about her. I just don't like her. I don't know what it is. I just don't like her. And then, of course, there was the other time we heard something very similar to that when it came to Barack Obama. It's just something about that guy. I don't know what it is. I just don't like him. It's just something about that guy. Isn't it always just something? They won't say what that something is. And, for the life of me, I don't know what that something is other than possibly race, right? Um, of course, let me give you an exception to the race part of it. I'm going to start with the whole Hillary Clinton thing. Someone who was the most admired woman in the world for 22 years straight. 22 years straight, the most admired, according to the Gallup poll. I think it was a Gallup poll. And then at some point, all of that stopped. When she ran for president of the United States, all of that stopped. Isn't that something? And before Trump became a serious contender, there were Republicans saying, well, you know what? We could work with her. But once the old tropes took hold, the women hating, women bashing, intelligent woman trope kicked in, all of the archetypes, if you will, then it turned into something sinister. And then, of course, in Meghan's case, along with that, you have the omnipresent racism. It always seems to go back to America's first sin, racism. Um, that is like the first sin of this country is racism. The racism used to um, delete all of the Native Americans they could find, and that same racism that was used to justify the transatlantic slave trade. It's always those things. It always comes back to race. So if you ever wonder what is the first big sin of the United States of America, that's it. It's race. It always comes back to that. So God bless Melissa McCarthy for calling out, that thing that need not even be named because, well, we all know what it is. Okay. And right here, you can see some more because fortunately, there is an article or two that have been written because of those few words Melissa McCarthy said. And it's a good thing, too, because there is a very, very big difference in the way that the Duchess of Sussex is received here in the United States in comparison to the United Kingdom. Melissa McCarthy has Meghan Markle's back. The bridesmaid star is perplexed and dismayed by the vicious barrage of hate hurled toward the Suits alum. It bums me out for every woman and every person that for no reason people just like to attack. She told Page Six at the Broadway opening of Stuffs on Thursday night. Anyway, always think how inspiring. I've never once been threatened by someone who is amazing, right? I've always think how inspiring. I've never once been threatened by someone who is amazing. And in other words, um, it's only people that are lacking something, whatever that something is, they go on the attack. People who are not happy with themselves, people that live in their mama's basement. But is if you run into someone who got their act together, or let's just say they're not preoccupied with other people's anything, they're not the ones that come after you. I just think how inspiring it really on the it's really on the people throwing shade. I'm sorry. I just think how inspiring it's really on people throwing the hate. McCarthy added that Duchess of Sussex is wonderful and awesome. That too. That too. Okay. So let me see here. Getting back to okay. And yeah, I think we're good. She's incredibly threatening to some people. Here, 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 here. And I got a lot to say about that later. Again, there is the cup. The cup. That sold out, of course. Once they were able to identify the cup, it sold out pretty fast. And I forgot who makes that cup, but I the only thing I could say for sure is I know that it sold out very fast. Did I ever know the name of it? I don't recall. Let me see. Sold out. Yeah, I don't think I recall the name of it. All right. Oh, Poliva Girl said yes. What Melissa said. Absolutely. Now, I got this little thing about Harry. Prince Harry faces deportation for drug use. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is, but let me take that away. But this guy said what a lot of people are thinking. As a matter of fact, I would say he spoke for most Americans. This is one of those reasons why I keep saying they don't really know this country. All of those so called talking heads. And in this case, the guy who was doing the talking, I guess he's one of the people that work for News Nation, which I think is like some kind of right wing thing. I don't bother with News Nation, but one of the squaddies was good enough to share this.
It's so trivial. It's downright comical. And by the way, nobody in America gives a crap. There is not some.
On Prince Harry?
I don't think there are people who are clamoring to see
people
Prince
on the
Harry's
right.
immigration record.
Yeah, Trump hates
I mean, that's like that's the crux of his thing.
You got an
American
issue
people
with
deserve
this?
to see the file. No one gives a crap.
So, in case you're not sure, the guy with the blue necktie, he was the one that says nobody gives a crap. And the one with the orange necktie, he's the one, not even about Prince Harry? No, not even about Prince Harry. We still don't care. It does not matter. I'll let you hear it again. But yeah, it was the one in the orange necktie. He's the one, not even about Prince Harry? What is it to you?
I mean, that's the crux of his thing.
You got an
American
issue
people
with this?
deserve to see the file. No one gives a crap. Publicity stud. It's so trivial. It's downright comical. And by the way, nobody in America gives a crap. There is not some.
On Prince Harry?
I don't think there are people who are clamoring to see
People
Prince
on the
Harry's
right.
immigration record.
Trump hates
I mean, that's the crux of his thing.
You got an
American
issue
people
with this?
deserve to see the file. No one gives a crap.
Nobody gives a crap. It's a publicity stunt. That's right. It's a publicity stunt. Oh yeah, absolutely. Love wins movement. They really went after Serena. Serena was just too strong, uh, too talented. She loved herself. She loves her family. All of those things. If she was like this scandal that they could, I guess, throw all types of shade toward. They love someone who's broken, who's downtrodden. But for someone to have always represented herself and her sport in the best light possible, that became something jarring because Serena wouldn't allow them to disrespect her. And of course, let's recall her father was not going to allow his daughters to be disrespected. All of that was a reason to act against them with hostility, to take their poison pens and write all of those nasty articles and all of the little what do you call it, snarky comments and stuff. Black women in sport, black women in sport, the targeting of black women in sports. I as many tickets as they have sold, the way that black women in sports has literally revived uh some of these uh I suppose industries, or those parts of the industry where they were lacking viewers, lacking interest, right? Like the WNBA, like tennis, track and field. They become the superstars, and yet they become the most vilified. And that always happens. That always happens. And then, of course, the people that are writing the articles, I mean, it begs belief. You got to see the people that's writing the articles, and it's just like, uh-huh. You know how sometimes I will go and look up the person writing these articles about Megan just to take a good measure of them, and they all seem to have a certain look, right? Something about the haters, they all seem to have a certain look. And they're all very clever at trying to make it seem like, oh no, it's nothing to do with their race. Surely it's not. You got it wrong. Okay, Prince Harry, Malcolm Borwick, and Jan Eric Frank, the voice of polo, renowned polo commentator at Palm Beach. Well, I promised you a new photo of Harry, and there it is. I don't know where this was hiding, but all of a sudden everybody's sharing it. So I thought, I guess I'll share it. And that's it. Don't know where it came from, except I'm sure it is from this past polo event. But as you can see, our Harry is, as per usual, handling his business. I mean, look at him. He is handling his business. Yeah, I love that. He is handling his business. And of course, our beloved the Abigail Spencer, who shares the same birthday as Megan. And it looks like, I don't know if for some reason that canine looks awfully familiar, but I think that canine looks very familiar. This jam is my jam, a delicious taste of what's to come, indeed. Love you so, M. So there you go. That is her very dear friend, Abigail Spencer. And of course, some people say they almost look like twins. At a glance, you have to like really do a double take to figure out which is which is fun. But yeah, they look like sisters at a glance. Oh, you think so? It was at Megan's house? Okay. Okay, that explains the dog. All right. That is Guy or Mamma Mia. Thank you, Lydia Washington. Gosh, it must be a what do you call it? It must be a lot of fun to be able to just like hang out in that garden, you know? I mean, it would be a thrill to hang out at the Sussex household, but it's like they have their own private park. They have their own private park, their own beautiful park. How cool is that? Aw, look at there. Look at there. How cute. Yeah, there's the three photos. So there's the one there and then those two. Super, 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 superb. Love, love, love it. Black women are going to be taking over gymnastics. How about those young women from Fisk University, especially that one that won the nationals? There you go. Thank you, Beverly McCaskill. Yep. So we have to be prepared for the snarky comments. And I tell you, the way that they treated Simone Biles and oh gosh, what's her name? The tennis player Naomi Osaka. The way that they were treated, especially by the likes of a Pierce Morgan and such, um, it's as though they want them to just be like an indentured servant to go out there and make everybody happy and never take care of themselves. And yet, the best evidence to show how hypocritical people can be, the way that everyone was screaming, give Kate a break, leave Kate alone, um, Kate this, Kate that, everybody back off Kate. Kate is allowed to be sick. Kate is allowed to have stress and pressure. They won't speak of the fact that there could be a possible alleged mental breakdown. They won't speak of that. They just allow her to go into hiding and nothing is said about her. But someone who actually works for a living, anyway, let me stop talking about this because oh, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. Okay, I'm better. I'm better. Back off, Kate. Leave Kate alone. Yes, leave the English rose alone. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut up and dribble. Exactly. Oh, that's not for me, is it? Okay. All right. Let's continue. And of course, here is a collage thanks to one of the squatties where you can see, let's see, let me try this. We got Kelly Zafin. Um, oh my goodness. Okay, so Tracy Ellis Ross and Delphina Blacure and Tracy Robbins. Who am I missing here? 1, 2, 3. Oh. They're missing Mindy Kaling, right? And someone else is missing. No, just Mindy Kaling. Okay, that's it. Now, Prince Harry hosted a fireside chat. Okay, let me try to make this bigger so I can see it. All right, better. Prince Harry hosted a fireside chat at a cozy dinner inside a horse stable. Go inside with our exclusive clip. Oh, they got an exclusive clip. Glad to hear that. The Duke and oh, that's where that came from. Remember, I was trying to figure out where did this clip come from all of a sudden. That is the one that People Magazine shared. That's the okay. Now it makes sense. Okay, so the Duke and Duchess of Sussex attended a what is that? Post polo game. Oh, post post a post polo game dinner at the Santa Rita Polo Farm, where Harry spoke with Centopale volunteer turned country director uh, Natalie. Oh, that's Natalie. I was going to say national. Natalie Molstein. Yes, that's it. Anyway, I played the soundbite for you guys yesterday. Um, but yeah, so I just didn't know where it came from. So that is it. They had a little fireside chat, which is really cool. Okay, moving on. I'm going to try to get you guys out of here in an hour. Not looking good, though. It's already been 30 minutes. Ah, check it out. Look at Harry. Look at Harry. Someone posted that it's actually like a gold and champagne kind of color, but I turned it into a black and white. Love the double waistcoat. It has a double waistcoat, I think. And anyway, that is the power of AI. Okay. Um, I'm not sure what that was. Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II statue has been unveiled. This to celebrate her 98th birthday. There's a statue of Queen Elizabeth. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in the UK. It's a nice statue though. It's a bit abstract. It's not. Um, it's got a very kind of what do you call it? I like the very rough, aged. It's got those little pits and crevices that look really cool, right? And look at that. Now I put it on a black background so you can better make out the details. But it includes a corgi, kind of hiding under her skirt there or peeking out from near her skirt. And then, of course, I really love the two corgis on the pedestal. Whoever thought of that? That was clever. And notice that the statue is offset. It's not completely symmetrical there on the pedestal. It's offset. I thought that was pretty clever. So, yeah, whoever did this, good job. Looks very, very cool. Yeah, I would say there are some statues that are frightening, of course, but this one, I'm kind of digging it. But whatever statue it is, there's always going to be the fuss about, oh, that doesn't look like her. Well, she wasn't made of bronze, right? She wasn't made of bronze. So I think it's very respectful. I think it looks really cool. And like I said, the very cleverness of those two corgis on the pedestal is a nice touch. Love that. That is a very nice touch. Yeah. And of course, that is the Order of the Garter robe. Yeah, that is the Order of the Garter. Oh, how cute. How cute. They look like they could make a hat for Sophie, right? They look like they're ready to make another one of those hats for Sophie Wessex or Sophie Edinburgh, whatever she is now. They look like they're ready to poop out another one of those poop hats. How cute. I mean, how clever is that? I just love it. I just love it. Oh, Sure is. Let me go back to it. Can you see it there? It's right there. Uh, well, in the middle of her chest, right? Well, almost in the middle of her chest. That's that. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about the crown itself? You're talking about the medal, right? Oh well. I'm guessing that's what it is, but okay. There you go. And here's one more look before we take off. You can see more of the detail. Okay, that's the tiara. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, take a look here. The Daily Mail had actually some time ago, they made one of the tabs Harry and Meghan. You see there? Now, I can understand you have one for Joe Biden. He's president of the United States. You have one for Donald Trump. He's an outspoken blowhard. And of course, Charles, well, he is the head of state, the king of the United Kingdom, Scotland, Wales, all that other stuff. And then, of course, there's Australia. Well, that's also another very important English speaking nation. For some reason, they don't have one for Canada. They don't use a tab for Canada, at least not for the US. See where it says home? That's me here in the US. The one at the bottom is me switching over to the UK. But I don't get why Meghan and Harry should have to stay there. I also don't understand why that sick old man Andrew is there. But it's not about who's there as much as it is who's not there. You don't see William, the next king. You don't see Catherine the Great. You don't see who else? I don't think Princess Anne is usually there. And this is, of course, when you first, you know, switch onto the site. Um, if you go to Royals, then a few of the other people will pop up. Yeah, a few of the other people will pop up. So for someone who is irrelevant, for someone who is wasting her time, um, gifting jam to her closest friends and confidants, for someone who is just that cable actress, isn't it amazing that for the past couple years, I think, every time you open up the Daily Mail, there's Meghan Markle, there's Prince Harry. They don't deserve security, but they deserve a permanent place on the website for the Daily Mail. How sad is it that William picked a fight with some jars of jam and the jam is winning? Maybe that's what he was trying to make in the pot with no fire. Thank you, YM Droid. Yeah, that is amazing when you can be taken out by a jar of jam. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be ashamed if Mike Tyson took me out. I would be mortified if my undoing was a sample of jam, a gift basket of jam, right? Jam, lemons, and that beautiful, would you call it a vase or a pedestal? Whatever. That beautiful thing that she presented. If that is what took me out, then I would be embarrassed, but not Mike Tyson. You know what? I wouldn't even feel bad if, let me see, if the Linda Evans from no, not Linda Evans, Linda Carter from Wonder Woman. I wouldn't be embarrassed that 70-something-year-old Linda Carter was able to hog tie me, but not a jar of jam. That's embarrassing. I mean, what's next? A Girl Scout selling some cookies, and you, uh, I don't know, give her too much snark or too much cheek, and all of a sudden she's hog tying you. I mean, it's just a jar of jam, and he's well. You know what? They're petty enough to go to war against an infant over a name. So of course, those same people would go to war against a jar of jam. It's weird who they pick a fight with, isn't it? Very weird. What a strange place. And then at the bottom, so I did those other two screenshots, but at the bottom, this one is from Glow, one of the squatties, and she's the reason why I'm talking about this right now. You can see where she has placed an arrow next to Meghan, right? So I'm not exactly sure what part of the is that yeah, I'm not sure what part of the website this comes from, but I am curious to know. But it's different from the one that I used at the top, I believe. But if you take a look here, this is what Glow has to say about it. Though she is a non working, independently financed royal living in another continent, the Daily Mail have now put their Duchess Meghan tab on their regular bottom of the page taskbar, as well as at the top of their homepage. Oh, see, that is another place. So let me go back and take a look at that. I could not find it when I was looking at it, but it's on the taskbar. Isn't that scary? You got UK Home, UK Showbiz, Meghan, Mail Plus, and then more. Oh, you know what? That must be on the telephone app. Okay, let me take a look at that. You guys don't take a look because we'll be giving them engagement, and I'm not trying to do that. But I do keep an eye on them. Oh, good God, I see what she means. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, so I don't think it's there just yet. At least not from the device I'm using. But that is the bottom of the. Again, you guys, please don't go on their website. I don't want to give them any engagement. I'll just look for everyone. But this is worth talking about or worth discussing because um, it once again showcases exactly how they exploit their accessibility when it comes to Meghan. Okay, I'm done looking. I don't see it the way um, Glow has been able to see it, but maybe maybe it's not just on the iPhone. Maybe that's for a different phone. But whatever the case may be, this is a way to monetize Meghan. They're monetizing Meghan. And what bothers me about that more than the fact that Meghan's name is being used in this way is the fact that Meghan is not supposed to make money for being Meghan. Only the tabloids are allowed to make money for being Meghan. I repeat, according to the tone of rhetoric, only the tabloids, only Talk TV, only GB News, they're the only ones that are allowed to make money from Meghan. Meghan is not allowed to make money for being Meghan. Isn't that something? Everybody is supposed to make money off of her, but she can't even introduce a product that doesn't even have her name. But the fact that she is the one doing it is too close to her doing it in her name. It doesn't mention royal. It doesn't even mention Meghan, her birth name, Rachel Meghan Markle. It doesn't even say that. It's American Riviera orchard. But that is just too close. Why? Because it means that it's another indication of how clever and successful she is. And we can't have that. They really want everyone to have access to their articles of hate, spite, commentary, revisionist history, and their misinformation and harassment of her. And by the way, if you guys don't know who Glow is, you know how I'm always making a big deal about Duchess Royal. This is Duchess Royal, and I think she's just awesome. So when I say, hey, Duchess Royal has just put up another video, don't say who, her, just go watch it. Just go and watch it because it is always so informative. Okay. Meghan moving forward, living her life, giving out jam and making no mention of her in-law royals gets under their skin. So they want to step things up. I've noticed another tabloid has started another visual podcast show, which is literally all about her and is focused on getting people on to revise her history. Geez, they are really threatened. Imagine bringing up stuff from 5 years ago and making new versions of it. The day a half black married into that family and said no to the institution and media abuse, gaslighting, was the day the toxicity of the institution and the system propping it up, that is, would be exposed for future generations to study in great depth. Hashtag Meghan Markle. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So no doubt, the next video that Glow produces is likely to go in depth. And I, for one, cannot wait for it. So, yeah, I'll just wait patiently for it, but I'm looking forward to it. But again, everybody is supposed to make money except for Meghan. Meghan has to wait for everybody else to do what they're going to do. And then Meghan is supposed to wait and read the tea leaves, right? Meghan is supposed to wait for a smoke signal or wait for, I don't know what sign that she's supposed to wait for before she introduces something else to the public. Before she goes and visits a hospital and talk to children, right? Read to children. Before she gives jam to her friends, part of a soft rollout, before she does anything, she had better wait until the tabloids say it's okay. Make that make sense. She has to make sure that every royal is healthy and fit and that no one has called off. And make sure that Charles or Camilla or William and Kate are making an appearance first. And then it's okay for Meghan to do something. I guess. I mean, I really don't know when is the right time. And if I can't figure it out, surely surely Meghan is like, what? You know what I'm saying? When is the right time? When is the right time to live your life and build your generational wealth? When is the right time to do the work that you love to do? When is it okay to be a philanthropist or a humanitarian? Do we always have to wait to see if Kate is going to go and sit with some kids at a little table in a classroom? Do we always have to wait for that? Do we have to wait for William to go and stir a pot that doesn't even have a flame under it? Do we always have to wait for that? Do we have to wait for Camilla to go and start picking at the sleeve of some little black kid or something? Do we have to wait for that? What do we have to wait for? When is it okay for Meghan to live her best life? Especially when she's in another country. She is not using her title for any of this. However, as she is married to a prince of the realm, her name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She is a princess of the realm, right? She is the Baroness of Kilkill and all that other stuff. The Countess of something or other. She's all of those things, whether they like it or not. She's all of those things, and they cannot take that away from her. As long as she is legally and lawfully wed to her husband, that's who she is. So Prince Harry is his name, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is her name. That's who they are. That's how they are recognized by the eyes of the law, by the eyes of the Church of England. That's who they are. They're recognized by all of the people who have sworn an oath to Charles III. Remember, that oath includes in all of his what is it? How do they word it? All of the members of the royal family. That is who they swear an allegiance to. When they have to swear that allegiance, it is to every member of the family without exception. Why do you think they give out those little trinkets? For services rendered. Here you go, Jason Knopf. Thank you for allegedly plotting and scheming against my brother. Right? The only one who I'm surprised has not received a trinket is Christian Jones, but he may be getting his trinket other ways. I don't think I'm old enough to hear how Christian Jones is receiving his trinkets. I'm sure his trinkets are presented with a bottle of port and perhaps some candles and God knows what else. But I'm sure he's getting his trinkets. Yeah, he's getting his. Uh, too much? Too much? Anyway, and of course, Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail, who is looting. Wow, that was a Freudian slip. Looting, who is losing. That is losing readers every day. They are just like the other tabloids. They are being strained by the lack of interest in their hate and hostility. But then again, doesn't that explain why they need to um, ride this whole Meghan thing as far as they can go? They have to stay involved with the vitriol against Harry and Meghan, because other than that, they're just another right wing rag, and they're a dime a dozen these days, I'm afraid. But they're a dime a dozen, so that also explains things. By the way, don't forget to hit the like button. There's 1,311 people here. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Your like helps to drive engagement for the channel, and that engagement helps to push the ad revenue, which is one of the ways we keep the lights on. So please make sure you hit that like button. It's very important for the growth of the channel. Rosita, 21 months membership. Baron, not too much. It's not enough. We love it when you get messy. Thank you so much for 21 months membership. And as always, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. So, by the way, that is a vulture. That is a vulture. That is not the queen consort. That is an actual rafter, a vulture, an ancient creature that has somehow evolved to the point where it can identify rotten flesh not its own, of course, but it can identify rotting flesh and swoop down and devour it. As a matter of fact, it sits patiently, and anything that looks weak or sickly or ill, they just wait. They wait until an opportune moment, and then they just go and swoop in there and start literally scraping the flesh off the bones. That's what that is. Again, it is not the queen. Wait a minute, is it? No, it's not the queen consort. It is actually a scavenger. It's a scavenger. It's not a bird of prey. It's a scavenger. It always goes for rotting flesh. See what I mean? Rotting flesh. It always likes to be near a carcass. Anyway, oh gosh, I just thought about that. Maybe that's what she's waiting for. Maybe that's what she's waiting for. Now that I think about it. But anyway, that of course is the queen consort, or as Sonny Hostin would say, the queen cohort, as well as one of the leaks and briefs that have plagued the royal family. Hello, is this the Daily Mail? Senior Royal here. I said Senior Royal here. Hello. No, I haven't been drinking, you nincompoop. Senior Royal here. I'm actually a royal. Anyway, Kathy G says, Baron, the spreadsheet bandit can help Meghan out with her schedule. They follow her like she's their leader. Why they have not put up like some type of honor site or something like that in their office building? They probably do. They probably have like some, like behind one of those little glass cases, like where you put trophies. They probably have like something dedicated just to the Duchess of Sussex. It usually coincides with, you know, big financial windfalls, like the article about the letter from her dad and how they were able to give out bonuses that year. That's kind of stuff. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're literally monetizing Meghan. If it wasn't for Meghan, what else would they be talking about? I mean, there is plenty. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of material to talk about with Will and Kate, but because of the invisible contract, they're no longer allowed to tell the truth. They have to sugarcoat and hide things from the public. One of these days, I hope that there will be an in-depth report exposing all of those tabloids. But until then, well, they just have us. Well, there's Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail, and that's his mama right there. Now, you would be forgiven to assume that that was Shelley Winters, but it's not. I forgot what her name is, but she's like some socialite that died the way she lived, with a drink in her hand. And anyway, that's his mama. That's his mama. I spoke about her before. I'm not going to do it today. I'll do that another time. We'll talk about her again. But yeah, she died the way she lived, with a drink in her hand. And right here, how Meghan and Harry exits going for you? UK, kind of like Brexit, huh? UK media tabloids struggle to make money. Royal family, royal rotorats, yeah, anyway. Struggle for attention. UK people struggle for clean water, struggle to put food on the shelves, struggle to heat people's homes. But coronation, now this is an old slide, so that's why it kind of reads past tense. But anyway, I while I was at it, I'm just like, oh, let me share that. So, and then right there, the invisible contract. There's Lord Nappyhead with the Queen. There's Lord Nappyhead with Sophie wearing that dog of a dress. There's Lord Nappyhead with Kate, with William, with Camilla, right? Duchess of Cornwall opens Daily Mail Chalk Valley History Festival. I mean, literally, they are in cahoots. They are in cahoots. And this is true, you guys. If you go to Google, I mean, if you go to the Wikipedia, you can read it there, or you can go to some other source. But it's true. He does not pay tax. He does not pay tax. He pays no tax, no UK tax on his $1 billion fortune. He has some clever way that he is getting the profits, but not actually paying any tax. Tax avoiding purposes. Tory boy Jonathan is French. He inherited his title and controlling stake in his lying rag, that is, from his father. Yeah. Yeah. His father dropped dead. He was 28 years old, I think, at the time, when his father died, and then he became the owner. And yeah, and all he has to do to keep that smug look on his face is ruin the lives of people that he probably never met and really doesn't care about. But that is why he's smiling, because his tabloid newspaper is one of the major things that is causing the decline of Western civilization. And he couldn't be happier. Yeah. Look at there. You know, this wouldn't happen if they were actually still very critical of Camilla, right? But Camilla, don't forget, her son works for the Daily Mail now, right? Camilla has key family members in all sorts of situations. Richard, let's tell the truth. The royal family, William, was in cahoots with Lord Rothermere, whose great grandson, who great grandson of, well, who is great grandson of the guy who is pictured below. Please, let's speak fact and stop gaslighting the Sussexes. And it's true. His father was very cozy. You know, they love to point out that the Queen's uncle seemed to be cozy with the Nazis, but so was the father, or grandfather, that is, of the current owner of the Daily Mail. They are supposed to be the prime example of all things British. They're protecting the British people, they're protecting the government, they're protecting the state, right? And yet, one of the reasons why the paper is still here is because at one time they were in cahoots with the Nazis. Now, to be fair, there were a lot of aristocrats that were involved with the Nazis. It wasn't just the king. They loved to single him out, but there were a lot of other lords and ladies who couldn't get enough of them, like the famous Mitford sisters. One of the Mitford sisters was dating or married to the Nazi party. So it goes on and on. That's the little part of the British history that they conveniently omit from the history books. And this is a little meme that I made one day. I told you the mail would airbrush our photos. Thank you, Lord Nappy Head, for the invisible contract. It's about right, right? I mean, look at how soft and delicate they look. They look so ethereal. Yeah, thanks to the Daily Mail and their very kind Photoshop department. Prince William relying on stepbrother Tom after efforts to speak out on Harry shut down. Rather, Prince William has asked for a change in strategy from the royal family to better respond to the swathe that is of accusations Prince Harry has leveled against them. Um, like I said, they're all in cahoots together. That for all intent and purposes, you know how we always say Nacho is Harry's real brother? Well, that's William's real brother. He used to be William's pharmacist. Now he's probably one of his closest confidants. But yeah, this is the guy that used to be a pharmacist to Prince William. If you look up Tom Parker Bowles and his history of baking soda, if you look up his history of baking soda, there's actually an article in it was in the New York Post about how 16-year-old Prince William was the best of friends with 24-year-old Tom Parker Bowles and how he relied upon him for constant baking soda. Well, it doesn't point out the baking soda. I'm just making a connection. But yeah, you see, Harry was man enough to talk about his past in his book, so no one could use it against him. But William's past has been cleverly concealed by his connection to the tabloids, right? And because he is the future king, he's the next king at this point. So they couldn't allow for his reputation to be tarnished. And I mean, tarnished in any way whatsoever, not even by a pulled pork sandwich. But there is quite a story to tell, and we're not allowed to hear it. But let me tell you something. When the American media get a hold of that story, when that story finally comes out, and it will, you guys, all the things that are done in the dark will be brought to the light. The only thing that they can do is try to create doubt and confusion to try to tamp down any possible connections that will be made, but they will be made. And if you think we were laughing about the Franken photo, wait until the real William is introduced to the world. And of course, behind the scene, there is the architect, the architect, the one who is playing everybody like a fiddle. And by the way, you guys, I'm gonna finish up today with Camilla. So if you are up too late, you can just watch it tomorrow. But I'm gonna just finish up with Camilla. I got several. Let me see. I probably got about another 15 slides. So I'll probably be on for about another 30 minutes, but I don't want to keep you up any later than necessary. And for those of you that are starting your day, good morning. Good morning. Okay. But yeah, there she is, always in the background, pulling the strings. And I must admit, when they say when you're wrong, don't say nothing, right? That's an old saying. If you know you're wrong, don't say nothing. And I was wrong. Boy, did I get it wrong. I thought William was not likely to go to the Commonwealth service because he didn't want to have to walk behind Camilla. He didn't want to have to share the space with Camilla. Well, Instead, he didn't go to his godfather's farewell, not farewell. Well, he didn't go to the funeral, and he didn't go to that prayer service, that memorial prayer service either. And in this situation, William did show up. And not only did he show up, he looks very pleased to be there. I did not see this coming. I didn't think that he was going to like elbow her or trip her or something like that. But this amount of cordialness just kind of catches me off guard. And it has. But yeah, they seem to get on very well with each other. That is William Parker Bowles. That is William Parker Bowles. It's all so cozy, I could just vomit. And there, and there. I mean, they spend so much time together, they're starting to look alike. They're literally starting to look alike. So, how William finally met the Rottweiler, and she came out saying, I need a drink. Part two of the Royal Arthur Penny Jewelers riveting book reveals how, after a troubled start, the young prince came to terms with Charles' love for Camilla. Um, Talk about revisionist history. You know, they're not going to stop, you guys. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop tearing down the memory, destroying the memory of Diana. They have been working on it for years. For years. They have been working on it. Diana's crazy. Diana has mental problems. Diana's from a broken home. Let's see what else. Diana was playing a dangerous game. All of those things. All of those things. And those talking points are spoon fed to the tabloid media by members of the royal family or by a member of the royal family. And there's only one person in that family who benefits from the wholesale destruction of Diana's memory. And I'm not so angry at them for doing it as I am angry for the people that knew and loved Diana that are sitting idly by and just letting it happen. And so I don't know how or when they're going to get back to it. I mean, they have never really stopped. But as someone just, well, as Glow pointed out, they have yet another one of those podcasts or whatever where they're going to spend their time trying to deconstruct all of the positive images of the Duchess of Sussex. They're going to go back 5 years. They're going to go back 5 years to try and reconstruct everything that happened, taking away anything positive and replacing it with an alternative storyline. That's what they're doing. The only thing is, first of all, Diana's not here to speak for herself. Second of all, there was no internet for Diana. But if you notice, there's nobody writing any books that are favorable to Diana. Nobody. Because there's no money in a favorable book about Diana. There's no money in a book that is hostile toward Diana. But the money comes from the talk show circuit. It comes from the access to the royal family, right? It comes from all the podcasts that you're invited to. It comes from American television inviting you on as a royal expert. It's not a lot of money. As a matter of fact, American television pays far more than British television, but this is how they make their money. This is how Robert Jobson makes his money. Yes, they have their newspaper columns and op-ed pieces and such, but they write books that nobody read. And for the few people that do read them, it is a very dull exercise in royal protocol and reinterpretations of intentions and misunderstandings, all of those things. But that's how they make their money. And so, again, the person who benefits from the destruction of Diana's memory is Camilla. Nobody benefits more than Camilla. And then Charles. Camilla first, and then Charles. And if it benefits Camilla, it benefits her beastly looking children. They also benefit. And the person who is sitting idly by and allowing it to happen is Charles. And the person who's aiding and abetting this is William. William is in a very powerful position as the Prince of Wales. Charles was in a very powerful position toward the end of his mother's life. And let's face it, Charles is not nearly as robust and healthy as his parents. And so let's assume that he's nearing the end of his life. William is in a very powerful position, but yet he has disappeared. They allow him to disappear. There's no pressure on him to show up because they don't want him involved. They really do want him away from it. And when I say they, I mean Camilla first and Charles second. And then, of course, the government. And maybe that's one of the reasons why William is so ill prepared for his role, is because they really don't want him to do anything. They can't have that because it might interrupt Camilla's plans. So this Penny Junor person, she is literally a mouthpiece. And remember projection. They call Omid the Sussex's mouthpiece. Well, if he was their mouthpiece, he is outnumbered probably 100 to 1 with the Royal Rota and all of their mouthpieces, because Penny is one of them. Robert Jobson, Ingrid Seaweed Sewers, or whatever her name is, Richard Fitzwilliam, Richard Eaton, all of the Richards, Richard Kay, Andrew Pierce, those are their mouthpieces. They're all part of the group of individuals that have certain things to do, like destroy Diana's memory, right? They'll say the occasional nice thing about Diana, but mostly it is contempt. It is contempt. And it's really sad too, because a lot of those people knew her and they know what she went through. But it does not bother them in any way that they're doing the same thing to her daughter-in-law or her son. It does not bother them. And William is part of it. William get to have all the pulled pork sandwiches he wants because of the role that he has taken up against his brother. One of the squatties wrote, I got the Rota Rats to drive out Harry and Meghan and kill their cash cow just to make me look better. Now the rats are facing redundancy. So what they're saying is, now that Camilla has gotten everything that she wanted and continues to feed, a lot of those people that helped lift her up are facing redundancy because those tabloids are dying. They are dying a slow death. Their readership is down. They have people writing articles that are barely old enough to drink. So if they're barely old enough to drink, they're not paying them much. That's why they want to get to America, because that's the chance to make some real money. And of course, writers are a dime a dozen. I mean, take a look at this. Let me go back for just a second. Some of them do write very well. I must admit, they do great work. But this is every bit as compelling as anything that those other people have written. This is just as compelling. Very well done. There are some very, very good writers amongst the Sussex squad. But hate sells. Hate sells. So you won't have as many people that have the opportunity to read this because, as I said, hate sells. So William, you know how they what was that song? Stevie wanted to say, so when you say you're not, that you're in it but not of it. Well, William is both in it and of it. He is taken front and center. They have pretty much infiltrated his very conscious, and he is doing their bidding. And of course, again, that word projection, projection. Harry, I'm afraid my brother has been influenced by these, what do they call them? By these therapists and all that. Anyway, Harry is supposedly have been brainwashed by these weirdos in California with their Birkenstocks and their herbal tea and all that kind of stuff. But that is projection. The person who has been reprogrammed, the person who has been brainwashed, is likely the next king. That's the one who has had their psyche messed with. The next king. I mean, there he is sitting there laughing with the woman who tortured his mother. He's sitting there laughing with her. That I should live to see this day. He's sitting there having a good laugh with her, with the Rottweiler. Camilla did not leak details of her first meeting with Prince William to the press, as Harry claimed in his tell-all memoir. Royal sources claim. Sources claim. Now, anybody who needs to believe Harry is wrong or Harry has lied, you see this headline, and as Meredith Constance Meredith, whichever, she always says that you don't actually read it before you forward it to someone. You share this with someone without even reading it. And a lot of people do that. I have been guilty of that, not to do with any of this stuff, but other things in life, like a diet, how someone lost weight, or how someone if I know someone is in real estate, I'll share an article about it. Not this stuff. If I'm sharing anything, I'm usually sharing it with you all. So Camilla did not leak details. Says who? A royal source. So when you see this, it's supposed to sink into your self-conscious. Even if you don't read the article, the job has been done. They have put this before you. It reinforces the message that they want to give, right? That Camilla did nothing wrong. That's the whole point of this. And that Harry is either has misspoke or he's a liar. That's what it says. And because William is in every photo, that is to remind you that William doesn't have a problem with it. I know William doesn't have a problem with it. It is very clear that William has no problem with it. As a matter of fact, Stevie Wonder can see that William has no problem with it, or with her for that matter. He's with her lock, stock, and barrel. Here's another one. Sarah Vine. Prince Harry's portrait of Camilla, the villain, bears no resemblance to the earthy, authentic, and engaging lady I've got to know. Really? None? And remember now, these are some of the people that used to write the most interesting articles about Camilla. They used to write some very interesting articles about Camilla. But suddenly they have gotten to know her and they realize that she's just this love struck, sweet old lady who has a prince of the realm that wants to get into her knickers. Now, the king of the United Kingdom, who cannot be away from her for a moment, even though after the coronation they went their separate ways. She went to her house, he went to his house, but he just cannot bear. He just simply cannot bear to be away from her. So here's another example of them trying to reprogram the public's thinking about all of this, is to make sure that they send that message. And this time it's not a source. The source is either Harvey Firestein or Sarah Vine. I can never tell which is which. The point being that if you put a wig on Harvey Firestein, as a matter of fact, right now, you're not sure if that is Harvey Firestein or Sarah Vine, are you? I won't tell you. I won't tell you. But yeah. And there was another obstacle. It took a while before they could take her down, but she's gone. She's gone. I don't know how they did it. But even Kate, even Catherine the Great is MIA. And the star of the show, the pretty girl, look who's pretty now. Camilla gets to be the pretty girl. She gets to be Mame, right? Remember the movie Auntie Mame? Camilla gets to be Mame. Yep. Wow, 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 fellas. Yeah, she's Dolly Levi. Yes, Camilla gets to be Dolly Levi. Mm-hmm. Dolly's never gonna go away. Camilla the Rottweiler will never go away again. Well, hello, Willie. Well, hello, Katie. Oh, it's so nice to see you away from here like you belong. Well, farewell, Katie. Go to hell, Willie. I don't know how she did it, you all. I don't know how she did it, but she is the face of the royal family. Every so often, I have to go over these details to believe it. I just don't know how. I don't know how she did it. It took a lot of maneuvering behind the scenes. But there she is, the star of the show. The star of the show. Even Kate is gone now. William, he only comes out every so often. Poxitani, what is it? Poxitani Willie only comes out long enough to see his shadow, and then he goes away for another 6 weeks. Poxitani Will. Camilla made Kate Middleton's life a nightmare by gloating about her newfound power after King Charles seized the crown. Queen consort Camilla making Kate Middleton's life a nightmare, claims Palace Insider. Queen consort Camilla determined to make Kate's life a nightmare, claim Royal Insider. A feud between Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton has been alleged by a royal insider who claims Camilla can't stop gloating. Wonder whose idea it was for Kate to upstage Charles and Camilla at the flower show. Wonder whose idea that was. But whose ever idea it was, I'm telling you, and you know what? You know what? People said that she had made a terrible mistake. Kate, she made a terrible mistake. Where is she? Where is she? You remember how Camilla was wearing that brooch with the bee and the fly? Very odd. She had two different brooches, a bee and a fly. Well, we all know what the bee and the fly is, right? And then she's wearing this what is that? A blue diamond or sapphire with diamonds. It looks so much like Princess Diana's engagement ring. And trust me, there's some symbolism there. There's a ton of things that Camilla could wear, a ton of jewelry. But she has selected the most conspicuous pieces depending on her conquests. And here's yet another one. They say that that thing is valued at about 20 million pounds. And yet she puts it over that old, nasty, drab, threadbare, faded coat dress as though it's something very important about wearing it for this occasion. It is important because she's sending a message to someone to whom I cannot speak, but she's sending a message. Probably someone who's at home in a hospital bed. King Charles is evicting Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage, leaving them without a UK home, and has offered the property to Prince Andrew. Well, look at who's present. Look who's present in that center photo. I would say the person who orchestrated the whole thing. That's who is responsible. I still say it was not Princess Anne. It was not Anne. I don't think Anne cares about anybody or anything but Anne and her husband, and of course, her kids. She cares so much for her kids, she wouldn't even allow them to use titles or to have titles for that matter. She turned them down. So, someone who has turned down titles for their own children, I don't think that's someone who cares where Prince Harry lives. I just cannot believe that. I think the same person who evicted Harry from his bedroom to make sure that he never felt welcome is the same person who had him evicted from Frogmore so that he would never feel welcome. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? It all makes sense. Outrage, King Charles evicted Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage after wicked stepmother Camilla claims. Get it? Now do you see? It all makes sense now. You think I'm wicked? Let me show you what I can do. I got wicked for you. Yeah, that's the person that William has figuratively crawled up in the bed with his evil stepmother. Today seems like a good day for it, doesn't it? I think so. I think so. Let me see. Where is it? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This is my own feelings being expressed the only way I know how. Yep. You guys, I tell you, I am in awe of that beastly individual there. I am in awe of her. I have to tell you, I mean, look at the way she was doing the little fake cough. And really, now, and I want to tell you the reason why I decided to share this with you again, and we'll do this again probably in another couple months. It all makes so much sense. Meghan, that intelligent, beautiful, talented individual, could not bear witness to these things. They did not want her around. And when I say they, I mean Camilla did not want her around. It was bad enough that she had Harry's eyes burning into the back of her head every time she went past or stood near or whatever. But someone as intelligent as Meghan, and not only Camilla, I think anybody with any sense would not want someone like a Meghan around because she's too intelligent. She's not easily manipulated, right? They could not have Meghan witness what they were doing. They couldn't have Harry witness what they were doing. They didn't want Harry around. Harry's not part of the Order of the Garter. He's not part of a lot of those things that the family has handed out. He didn't want it, and they didn't want him. Harry doesn't have the, for lack of a better word, killer instinct. Not like that. So they could not have him around. Those kind of instincts are only brought out if they're provoked. But the rest of the people in the family, that is their bread and butter. That is their stock and trade. By the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That's how we keep the lights on. Do hit the thumbs up. Where are we at with thumbs up right now? Please tell me it's not only 200 thumbs up. Oh, it's 632. Okay, that's not bad. But I tell you, 1,000 would be better. So please hit the thumbs up. 632 is not nearly enough. Oh, also, let me see here. Who was that? Mm. Well, anyway, whoever sent me the Cash App earlier today, thank you very much for that. Okay, moving on. Imagine converting your stepson's bedroom into a dressing room only to leave your house looking like this. And that is rather frightening. The fact that Camilla turned Harry's bedroom into a dressing room, and yet this is how she walks out of the house. She actually left the house looking like that. And of course, one of the squatties compared her to some of those what do you call it? Those Quakers or Amish. Yes, the Queen of England is walking about looking like some Amish woman. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she is representing an entire nation. But yeah, that is not an Amish woman. Do not adjust your dial. That is actually Camilla, the Queen Consort. It just is a clear reminder when Andre Leon Talley said that Queen Elizabeth was one of the best dressed women in the world. It was interesting when he said that, but I get it. I get it because the Queen always put her best foot forward. She put her best square block heel forward. Camilla, she doesn't really care what she looks like. I mean, after all, Camilla wore a 20 million pound brooch on that hideous dress or coat dress. Okay. She put a 20 million pound brooch on that dog of a dress. The very fact that Prince William and Jeremy Clarkson use hero as a pejorative to demean Prince Harry tells you the whole royal family is buddy buddy with the media and inciting the media vitriol. You understand that? The herald is used as a pejorative term to demean Harry. And there is a Christmas party that took place in, what was it, Wayfair or whatever, at a posh restaurant, club, whatever. And who's invited? Jeremy Clarkson, who went home and wrote that nasty article about Meghan being paraded through towns around Britain and covered with excrement. That was right after the party. And there's, of course, Piers Morgan, who said that some member of the royal family thanked him. Some member of the royal family thanked him. And there was no distancing herself from either of those people ever, not even after that article. The palace never criticized the article, never spoke out against the article. But of course, that's the same palace that allowed Archie to be compared to a chimpanzee, knowing the racist overtones. And they didn't care. They don't even care that the world sees it. That's how much they care. Is not at all. Because they feel as though they're in the driving seat. And for all intent and purposes, they are. And that nobody could harm them. No one can hurt them. It's not going to soil their reputations. And if it does, it doesn't matter because the tabloid media, they'll get us out of it. They always do. They always do. So if you are new to the community, this is what we've been up against. If you are new to the community, this is what we've been up against. Another example of the royals issuing a personal statement when it suits them, this one just last month on violence against women. Today, a remarkable group of people gathered at Buckingham Palace with one aim to see the end of violence against women and girls. I was deeply moved and inspired by their stories. With determination and courage, we will see an end to these heinous crimes forever. Camilla, right? That's the same Camilla who said nothing about Jeremy Clarkson. She's worried about violence toward women, but she says nothing about someone who writes an article that could incite violence against a member of the family. Camilla enjoyed a crafty cigarette with Jeremy Clarkson after friends tell of risque jokes. Future Queen Consort passion for telling risque and naughty jokes has been revealed in a new ITV documentary chronicling her time guest editing Country Life magazine. But remember, royals don't guest edit it. Celebrities guest edit it. Anyway, I'm not going to get started with that. But you see what's going on here. This is clearly letting you know that Camilla is okay with the language that was used by Jeremy Clarkson. Richard Eaton, conversation must have been lively at Camilla's lunch in Mayfair this week with Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson among the guests. And remember, that's exactly what happened the day before Clarkson wrote that article. This is from Clarkson's typically forthright column in The Sun today, speaking about that article again. Over here, Prince Charles and Queen hired Daily Mail executive for top post. Daily Mail executive is working for the king and queen, not the princess, not the Duchess of Cornwall, but king and queen. I'm sorry, Countess of whatever that she was. And then, of course, Piers Morgan claims royal family member thanked him for standing up to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, likely meaning Camilla. Camilla, very glamorous private party. Dame Judi Dench, Piers Morgan, Claudia Winkleman, and Jeremy Clarkson joined Queen Consort at star-studded Mayfair lunch as she proves Meghan isn't the only royal with pulling power. I tell you, anybody as wicked as that deserves that face. Sun apology doesn't mention Meghan Markle. I repeat, the Sun apology doesn't mention Meghan Markle by name in, let me see. So the person it violently racialized and dehumanized doesn't receive front page apology for the Jeremy Clarkson column. He keeps column and Victoria Newton keeps her job as editor. This is institutional gaslighting on an epic level. So after Jeremy Clarkson wrote that article, he got to keep his job, and so did the editor who was signed off on it. No mention of Meghan in the so-called apology. This is Victoria Newton. She is the editor of The Sun. She gave the nod for the horrific piece written by Jeremy Clarkson to be published. This morning, she appeared on BBC Laura whatever, when I say influential women enable misogyny, I ain't making it up. Before Queen Elizabeth died, Charles was not at her side. The night before before she died, he was entertaining Victoria Newton, among other people. I mean, there's a man, you can clearly see his reflection in that glass. There's someone else standing next to Charles. This is what he was doing the day before his mom and dad, laughing and joking with the media. Now, as anybody who was, around, the queen didn't have long to live. She was at death's door. If I know that and you know that, then Charles knows it too. But what does he do? Does he join his sister Anne, the Princess Royal, and stay at the Queen's side? No. He's entertaining the media. As a matter of fact, at the time he got the word that things were going into a downward spiral, he was setting up for an interview with one of those Bush children, one of the president's children. He was setting up for an interview as though he was, I don't know, getting all of his ducks in a row before his mom and dad instead of being at her bedside. So they had to alert him that his mother was slipping away. So he took a helicopter ASAP to be joined later by the Queen Consort, Camilla. Of course, they couldn't take Camilla right away because they had to take her out for a walk. They had to feed her, brush her coat. You don't want to put a consort on the road without taking her out for a walk first. Anyway, Victoria Newton, I was with Charles on his last working day as Prince of Wales. He hosted me with typical generosity. And if you're wondering what she's showing him on the phone, it's that photo right there. That's the photo that she's sharing with him. That's the photo. While his mother lay dying, the most important thing for him was to entertain the media, which he depends upon for his image, and of course, to share a little laugh or two and look at pictures of Willie and family. So, again, if you're new to the Sussex Squad and you've never heard these things before, but you know that there's some sinister stuff going on, all I can say is you haven't heard the most of it. You haven't heard half of it. You've only heard a portion of it. But it's pretty awful. It is pretty awful. And at the center of all of it, at the very diabolical center of it, that for which all of the other planets circle or revolve like satellites, is Camilla. And such is the prediction by the Globe magazine in 2013. Defying Camilla, I will be queen. Now, I remember at the time when the queen died, she was only supposed to be called the princess consort. So, not to upset anyone who has ever known or loved Princess Diana, right? But that changed abruptly. Without explanation, Queen Elizabeth II, under much duress and coercion, decided it was best that people just call her Queen Consort. And that didn't even last. Just Queen, just Queen. So, as I said back in September of 22, one down, one to go. But when I said one down and one to go, I really meant the other way around, right? But instead, it seems like Kate is the one that's gone. And Camilla is here to stay. Yeah. I had it wrong. That's another time I had it wrong. One down, one to go. Boy, did I get that one wrong. I couldn't have seen this coming. And I want you to take notice once again, just to remind everybody, there's Camilla wearing that blue and white diamond brooch, a $20 million brooch she's wearing, much bigger than a smaller version of it that the princess consort, or should I say the queen consort, well, the Princess of Wales, much smaller, but identical. The only thing is that you wear it on your chest and it's much bigger and more expensive. Very interesting. But God does have a sense of humor, doesn't he? Or she? God has a sense of humor, a sense of justice. Because while Camilla is stuck with that mug of hers, I just want you to know that at the time of these photos, Linda Carter was 71 years old and Camilla 75. At the time these photos were taken, Jill Biden was 71 years old and Camilla 75. Camilla consistently looked older than her mother-in-law. And with that, you guys, I am done. So we'll do this again in a couple of months. We'll do this again in a couple of months. I will have plenty more to add to it, I'm sure. But remember, there's no long game. That's what her son said on British television. There is no long game. I don't know what we're supposed to call it, but there is no long game. That's what we were lighted or lit or whatever by her son on British television, who works for the Daily Mail, ironically. There is no long game. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. So, you guys, I am going to skip the comments tonight, as we started much later than I intended. And I do thank you for your time. Thank you for your generous contribution, YM Droid. And thank you for your memberships, Rosita and Kathy G. Thank you, moderators, as always, for keeping this a safe space. Nope, that's not it. Let me try this one. Ha! That's not it either. Okay, let me try one more. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So thank you to the moderators, the Mod Squad, for keeping this a safe space. Also, remember, when you see our queens, it is time to go, and you know what I mean. Okay, and YM Droid says, Camilla's aging like fine buttermilk in the sun. Oh, thank you very much, YM Droid. And that is so true. She is aging like buttermilk. Okay, and our last word for the day. Let me see. I thought I had one set aside, but I guess not. That's okay. I'll find something really quick. Perhaps a prayer for our faves. I think I just did that one. Let me try one more. No, this is good. This is good. So, a prayer for Meghan and Harry. God preserve their joy so they can spread it around them. God preserve their love so they can strengthen each other. God preserve their strength so they can serve others. God preserve their faith so they can serve you. Amen. All right. And with that, you guys, good night and God bless. And I am going to close with the Madam Duchess. No bad energy.